Happy New Year, y'all. Welcome back to the Lonely Therapy Podcast, where, just me talking about bullshit. But to me, it's not bullshit, it's actually just venting. Y'all hooking me up with my free therapy, which I appreciate y'all for that. I just want to start off right off the rip. Give me a sec. I do have a couple topics for y'all. So this is for the boys. Or girls, whatever, interchangeable. When does bro code or girl code expire with somebody? Let me elaborate a little bit. So let's just say one of your quote unquote old homies, right, that you used to talk to, you don't talk to them anymore, breaks up with their significant other for whatever reason. Destiny puts you guys in each other's paths, right? When is it cool to make the move or like date them? Or do you not date them? I personally think it's okay if one, you don't talk to the person at all, or two, you will never see them again. I feel like it expires. I would say 3 years was like a good time frame for the code for the law to be broken. However, if it's a person that you're gonna see on a daily or the friend group, that particular person is always there, but you don't talk to them, you can do it, but it's just gonna be a little bit awkward. Actually, it would be fucking awkward. Because, I mean, if you're smashing the person that they were with, and I don't know, it's just really weird, really awkward. So I wouldn't suggest you put yourself in that situation. However, I know things happen and you can't help, but, sometimes it's the heart is annoying. The heart knows what it wants or whatever. But yeah, what do you guys think? I'm curious. And I know with girls it's probably different. The reason being is I remember I had a friend that dated a girl, right? And then one of her friends ended up liking him, and then they broke up. And then he dated the friend as well, but they weren't like close friends. But I'm not sure. Do girls really give a fuck about that? If you're a girl, please comment down below. I'm curious to know like how it works, like the girl code. Because I know some girls wouldn't really even dabble with that, but if for whatever reason you two kind of clicked or came across each other and clicked, then I wouldn't say be opposed, because I mean, who makes these laws, right? I mean, I'm sure the bros and the girls made these codes and shit like that, but in retrospect, if you're an adult, I'm pretty sure this doesn't matter if as long as you're happy, right? But yeah, I'm trying to think. Have I ever violated the bro code? Maybe I have. I'm not sure. I can't think of any particular scenarios, but me justifying for it is probably giving vibes that I violated the code. But I don't know. I can't think of anything right off the rip. But yeah, you let me know. When is valid to violate the bro code? My answer: 3 years. 3 years, no contact, and no association with the person. I'd say that's the sweet spot. Also, do you guys believe in once a cheater, always a cheater for either gender? Because I truly believe I doubt it. I don't think so. It depends on the person. That's a very subjective question. It honestly depends on the person. Let me tell a story. So obviously back in middle school, and also there were some people when I last episode when I brought up the jealousy thing, and I said specifically I don't remember if it was in elementary school or high school, and people on the comments were like, elementary school, cap. People were saying cap. Like, no, it was actually middle school, but I didn't remember for sure what year. But yeah, it wasn't cap, you cocksuckers. Um, but yeah, I don't think once a cheater always a cheater, because that happened to me. Okay, so a little backstory. In middle school, there was a girl I dated, right? And that little cunt cheated on me. And I mean, I cheated on her after. I didn't tell her. To this day, she doesn't know that I cheated on her. But the reason I only did it because she did it first. So, and plus, it's middle school, so it's not like it fucking matters, right? Like on a real, I mean, it was a real, a serious relationship, kind of. Not really. I mean, it can only be so serious, right, when you're in middle school. But if we're talking real relationships, like a girl that I was in love with, I have not cheated. Although some could argue like when you're on a break, yada yada. But if you're strictly not, but that's also a gray area, right? When you say you're on a break and you're strictly not talking, but you're casually hooking up once in a while, but you're strictly not together by law. Oh, I sound like a fucking idiot. By law, you don't. It doesn't apply, right? But it's also up to interpretation on the partner as well. But for the sake of this argument, I didn't, and I wouldn't cheat on somebody, no matter the situation, because I feel like that's way more harmful. And then I don't know, things are just more fucked if you do, or at least don't get caught, boys. I'm kidding. um, but seriously though, if you were to cheat on somebody, or if you have cheated on somebody, why did you do it, and was it worth it? And if you did it, I'm assuming it was probably because either one, you were intoxicated, but then you shouldn't have done it because you could have easily gotten yourself out of that situation. So the intoxication is just a fucking excuse, right? And two, you shouldn't have. Another reason why you probably did it was you probably didn't like the person, or you clicked with the person, or like it was like the moment was right. Because I know mistakes happen, right? But there is a saying that goes, drunk thoughts or sober thoughts. And I think that makes sense. Because think about it. Whenever you get drunk or get tipsy, the first person you think of, that's the person I would say, one, you are interested in, or you love with. You love, not love with, that doesn't make sense. Like, for example, when I was on shrooms, the first person I thought of was my girl at the time, right? And that is who I felt the most comfortable with, the most safe with. So whenever you're drunk, sure, sometimes there are people that act different. I'm not gonna say everyone's the same, but just if you don't give a fuck to cheat while you're drunk, then I'm sure you don't give a fuck to cheat while you're sober. But again, this is subjective as fuck. Depends on everybody. Everyone's different. So, but that's just what I believe. I mean, take that shit for granted or not, it doesn't matter. But that's just what I'm thinking. But yeah, speaking of relationships, I feel like us guys were such fucking toxic people. I mean, obviously girls are toxic as shit too, but guys in particularly, sometimes we can be fucking idiots. Like super, especially if you're in a toxic relationship, or if you are not emotionally mature or available, or etc. I feel like we can be really real pieces of shit. And let me put that into consideration, the fact that sometimes we'll, okay, so guys, when we break up with somebody, we don't feel like any feelings for the first, I would say, maybe a couple weeks, months, whatever, right? And then it starts to creep on you, which is the annoying part, because that is why you do it, right? That is why you break up with somebody, because you don't, you think, you think you feel like you're not gonna want to be with them, right? But this happens time and time again. I mean, it's happened to me. It's happened to fucking homies, where you separate yourselves from your partner, right? And then next thing you know, you miss them because you actually, it takes you that fucking long to process what you did, right? Which is annoying. And I keep saying annoying to a lot of things because it is. It really is. And now that I'm saying things out loud, and I mean, I've known this for a while now. That's why I can talk about it. My I'm self-aware about my issues. But imagine how it must make a girl feel. That must feel really fucking crappy, like thinking from their point of view. And whenever you hit them up or whatever. They're, girls are such nice humans. Sometimes we don't deserve them because one, they are the most loyal human beings on earth. I mean, okay, obviously there are fucking thoughts out there that those don't count, but like genuine good girls, right? Those are the fucking ones that you gotta protect at all costs because it's so fucking rare to find like a really good girl. And that also plays into this segue. When does the body count matter or stop to matter? Like what's a number, right? I personally feel like God, that's such a tricky question because that thing is so subjective. Hmm. Let's see. I mean, and I'm not gonna water down my answer. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, 30, you're a hoe. Because I mean, no, I personally don't give a fuck as long as like the girl's not like that anymore, right? Because I mean, girls are, yeah, they're more sacred. I would say they're way more. When you find a genuine good girl, it's so hard to find another girl like that because you're just gonna keep comparing every new girl you encounter with your with like the one, and that's what fucks up guys because they like the idea of like other girls, but once you encounter them and you talk to them and then you realize like, damn, that previous girl, like the golden girl, like the diamond in the fucking in the bunch, it just gets fucking it gets annoying. I need to find a better word. It's not annoying. It gets frustrating. But yeah, imagine because you can't really turn back time and just going back to that would be so I don't know, it'd be shitty. Let's see. There was another thing that I want to talk to you guys about. Okay. What? Let's see. Let me look at. Give me a second. Okay. Would any of you hook up with somebody that smells down there? Or okay, let me rephrase the question. You don't. Obviously, everyone's gonna say no, right? But now let's just say the person that you are talking to, for whatever reason, you're vibing, right? The evening goes well, the date, whatever. But when it gets down to the actual, the session time, do you do it if you come to find out that it fucking reeks like shit? For guys, if the box smells like shit, we talking a tuna can down there, or for the ladies, we talking we talking a a garbage bag full of musty odors. Because okay, for guys, with us dudes, sometimes when we're not gonna do shit, if we're we've been chilling around our house and we I don't know whatever we worked out, we can tolerate our own ball smell, right? But for girls, dude, it's a whole different ballpark. We can't. I personally would never let myself smell like shit in front of my girl unless it's by accident. But then if I find out that I smell, I'm not fucking letting that smell out at all. Cause fuck that. I hate that smell. So I wouldn't want to put that onto somebody else. So now let's get back to the question. If this person's a 10 out of 10 in your point of view, like checks out every box, they're nice, they're funny, whatever, looks, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, would you do the deed if it fucking smells like shit? Or would you say, like, oh, um, do you mind just showering? Right? Like, how awkward that should be. I personally, I would say, like, look, as a gentleman, this is what I would do. I would say, look, I feel like I need to take a shower. So let's just both shower together. That's how you get out of it. That's how you get out of it like a champ. You just blame it on yourself, but everybody's got to do it. But imagine if the girl's like, okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, do your thing. I'll be here. And you're like, fuck. Okay. Nah, I insist. Let's both go. Cause you know you don't smell, but they do. And if they don't want to go in, like what do you do, right? Then that's when you hit them with a backup plan. You say, "Oh shit, I'm looking at the time and it's I gotta go to church in the morning." You just gotta say some bullshit because you can't. That is just some shit that you don't tell people. And I know you should always be honest with people, but that is something that could make them very insecure, and you don't want to make somebody feel insecure out of something that could have been an accident. Maybe they didn't notice it or whatever, right? So I would say just either both of you do it, both of you shower, or just postpone it unless it gets to the point where it's really bad. But no, I would say never hurt somebody's feelings when it comes to smell because hygiene is everyone's most, I would say, biggest insecurity. Unless they're like disgusting people, then I don't know why you're even fucking with them. So I'm trying to do my best to help y'all out, but yeah. Alrighty, let's see. Also, I've come to realize I never do anything productive in my room besides filming the podcast. Because the podcast, I'm just filming it and I'm talking, right? But when it comes to actual work, editing, anything like that, I can't work in my room because I've realized my room is a place where I relax and I don't want to do anything but relax. So even if I were to be editing on my bed or on my desk, if I can see my bed and I can visualize how comfortable my bed looks, I can't. Like right now I'm looking at my bed, but I don't want to lie down on it. Why? Because I'm filming the podcast, right? Because I'm doing something. But if I was editing right here and I had my laptop in front of me and I'm looking at my bed, I'm like, damn, I could easily edit right here on my bed. But if I go on my bed, I'm gonna be way too comfortable, and if I'm way too comfortable, I'm just gonna want to relax. And if I relax and I fall asleep, and if I fall asleep, I don't do anything, right? So if this happens to you, find another spot. Like in my house, I just go to either the dining room or our guest room. We used to have a little area, but now we don't have that just because we have a guest there. Hence the name of fucking guest room. So I just do it in the dining room because I know I have to focus, right? So if this shit happens to you where you can't do a certain task because of the environment, put yourself out of the environment. Because if that's the issue, then you gotta work with what you got, right? Now if you say, "Oh, I can't do that," then you're fucking putting excuses and you're being a little bitch, and we don't tolerate excuses here. Like straight up, we don't. So if you have an excuse for yourself because of something, fucking find an answer. There's an answer for everything, right? There's I think there's a saying, or I remember during an interview, a job interview, I forgot what the question was, but they pretty much said, if you don't do something, or if you don't know how to do something, what do you do? And I remember replying to that answer was, if I don't know how to do something, I find out, and once I find out, I'm the best at it. And not necessarily that you have to be the best at something, but at least find out the fucking answer. Use your critical thinking, because nowadays people don't use their brains, and it's kind of annoying. Like you should just be, you should find the answer to things. There's an answer for everything. And if you don't have the answer, somebody out there is gonna know the answer. Like Google, straight up Google, or maybe your dad. Your fucking. If you don't have a dad, your fucking mom, your mom, siblings, cousins, somebody. Just don't fucking. And again, this isn't like a motivational podcast or anything like that, but just don't be a fucking pussy when it comes to things like that. And I'm sorry I had to be give you tough love, but I had to. Also, have you ever banged somebody? This is completely different. Have you ever like hooked up with somebody and regretted it immediately, like post nut clarity type of regret? I would say yeah, yeah, for sure. Actually, yeah, especially because like my girl, she's the best. She's the best at fucking roasting me. She'd be like, "Oh, you hooked up with that girl?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like she's a queen of roasting. However, girls can also be like this. You roast them, ooh, You can't they love to fucking dish things out, but they can't take things sometimes, which is annoying, but I mean, I get it. They like to they girls like to be right, and it's fine. I mean, who doesn't like to be right? Especially because us guys, we do fuck up a lot more, especially scumbag guys like us. Not that I'm a scumbag guy, but maybe I was. But yeah, girls are they're and they love arguing too. They fucking love it. But hey, 2022, we're trying to stay up, kings. You feel me? We we ain't trying to argue no more with girls. And you also have to know when to argue. Like, what are things worth arguing for? Like, if you're gonna argue whether you're gonna eat a Chipotle or fucking Korean barbecue, then that's not a real argument. However, hands down, fucking Korean barbecue every day, or Chipotle depending on the day. But no free promos out here. Also, this is an. Let me know if your friends can be annoying with this shit when they post things on Instagram. And I know somebody. I'm not gonna say names. But they love to post fucking single pics. Like, let's just say they go on a trip, right? Rather than doing the slide thing, they'll just post like one pic, one post with a single picture. Which I've already given you a like, and this isn't a big deal or anything, but just put everything on a slideshow. It makes everything easier. Rather than fucking single post. Or maybe am I being an idiot? Because I mean, technically, I don't even have to like the post, but and this is like such a first world problem. Like, I don't want to see too many posts. But I know you guys feel me out there. You for sure know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't want to see your timeline all spam with just single pics that could have been all fucking pressed into one post. Which is, I don't know, it can be a little, I mean, it's not even annoying. But at this point I'm just complaining about the smallest shit, which I sound like a pussy, but it's fine. Let's see. Also, I also want to give a shout out to you guys because on TikTok we're getting a shit ton, really good engagement. Like, straight up, we're getting amazing engagement. And again, this does not matter, but the fact that people are liking this and they're relating to some of the topics. Like, there are some girls and guys out there that I knew from high school that are, they have a specific niche, like whether it's, they work out or they sell products or whatever, and they have way more followers like on their regular IGs and shit like that with like good engagements. But yo, we're pulling numbers because I started this shit fresh, zero, right? And I'm impressed that you guys are fucking with the content, and we're low key building up the cult. I'm telling you, that's about what I've always wanted, and I fuck with this. It's honestly, I can see why people say this is motivating, because I mean, I started this shit, ranting, because I have my own fucking issues, and the fact that some people are fucking with this is dope. So I just want to give a shout out to y'all. And again, it's not like it's a shit ton of people or anything like that, but the small amount of people that we're attracting is fucking awesome. And I reply to every comment too, because I'm not a bitch like that. Also, let's go back to the topics of exes. You know what's annoying when you see an ex moving on, and you're like, oh yeah, this is, I think, the toxic trait. I'm sure guys are or girls are like this too. Or actually, dude, I'm so passionate about this topic right now. I know for a fact girls are like this too, because think about it. I spoke so fast it sounded like I said fat girls are like this, but I actually said I know for a fact girls are like this. So I emphasize fact, not fat. Um, but yeah, as soon as it's so funny, as soon as you break up with a girl and you're no longer with her, she randomly, if she wasn't the type of girl to post like pictures that show like cleavage or anything like that, or like ass shots, instantly they do that. Instantly they switch up. And I that's such a funny tactic because us guys we can see right through that. Easily see right through that, but I know they know they're doing that shit for a reason. Because you see the beauty of girls, they get validated on a regular basis like a million times, right? But they don't give a fuck about the validation from those randos. I mean maybe some do, but there are some girls that they want that specific guy, which is obviously their ex, to validate them. So maybe if they're doing that to get their attention, or if they post on Twitter like finally happy, or moving on feels great, or I can't believe I like, bro, that's such a classic breakup thing to do for girls, right? Like such a classic thing. Like us guys, what the fuck can we do besides like, oh, I think you know what it is? I think it's the fact that us guys were not reacting to it that pisses them off. That makes sense. Holy shit, I just analyzed what I was saying, huh? That makes sense. Although, what if we did that, right? What if we just randomly started showing our fucking bulges and shit like that? Like, that's just so stupid for us guys to do. And it'd be gross as fuck, too, because, like, there's nothing appealing about a bulge, you know? Actually, maybe some girls like it, but I don't know. I think that's really stupid. Or, yeah, no. Yeah, that'd be really gross. Just saying, because if we did that, imagine all the fucking, because guys are more out there when it comes to posting shit. They don't really give a fuck. So imagine we all started posting that after breakups. You'd have a million bulge pics out there. A million. Let's see. But yeah, us guys, it hits us so late. It hits us fucking late, which is frustrating. Um. Also, there was a Twitter post that I saw a couple of weeks ago, and it was like guys either know how to eat pussy or they know about NFTs, and I've been trying to figure out what NFTs are. Can somebody like teach me about NFTs? Please, I'm really trying to learn. Like, I want a crash course on that, please. That was a stupid joke, by the way. I clearly know what NFTs are. I'm kidding, I don't. What are they? What the fuck are NFTs? Also, there was this Mandela effect story that I talked to my brother, but I don't know if either it was a dream of mine, but I for sure know it wasn't a dream. But he says it was a dream, so let me tell you what the event was. Back when we were younger, whenever I'd get nightmares or just bad dreams in general, I'd always have somebody come to the bathroom with me if it was late at night or if we were alone. And for this particular instance, I think I had a bad dream, and I told my bro like, "Hey, can you come to the bathroom with me? Cause I'm scared, and I was gonna take a crap." So I'm in the bathroom, right? He's sitting right in front of me, and we're just talking, we're like just two kids, like little kids, just fucking conversing about etc. Right? And in my head, I'm like, "Huh, I wonder what shit tastes like," but I don't want to find out. So I'm sure my bro wouldn't mind finding out. So during that time, we used to play this game called Close Your Eyes and Open Your Mouth, and we'd give each other food to try, right? So I use that same concept, but for the crap. So he was sitting in front of me, and I told him, like, "Hey, let's play a game." And he's like, "Okay." And I said, "All right, close your eyes and open your mouth." And I remember wiping. I remember wiping, and it was like a little smudge on the paper, right? But enough to taste. So I like wipe the toilet paper with, the devil's fudge. Actually, the devil's fudge is probably black tar, but the human's fudge. And I smeared on his tongue, right? and he swears that he didn't that this didn't happen, but I remember as soon as that happened, he yelled out and he was crying and then he stormed out the bathroom and he told my mom. And I don't recall what happened. I don't know if I got hit or anything like that, but I guess it could sound like it was a dream, but I don't think it was a dream. But he swears that that shit didn't happen. But then again, I can't trust my brother because he has the worst fucking memory in the world. Like he doesn't remember what the fuck happened last week. And then my mom, she's the type of girl that she loves to come up with scenarios. Like she'll come up with random fucking memories that never happened or stories that never happened, but maybe they did, but I don't remember because I mean she obviously knew me all her life, so I'm sure she wouldn't lie. But sometimes she likes to exaggerate things that didn't happen. So to this day, I don't know if that story I just told was real or fake because I think it was, but everyone's saying either. Well, my brother doesn't remember. My mom, she doesn't think it was, but I'm pretty sure it was because that scenario is way too specific to make up, right? But I guess we'll never know unless I'm sure when I die, you know how they always say your life flashes before your eyes. So I'm sure once I'm dying, if I see that memory, I'm gonna like try to not die for like another like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna call my brother and I'm gonna say, by the way, my life just flashed before my eyes, and when I smeared shit in your mouth as we were kids, that happened, and then I'll like die. And then he'll be like, "Oh shit, I guess it did happen." But the more you know, I guess. Also, a couple of the homies they were like saying how it's so hard to talk to girls, but I honestly don't think so. I think it's the way you're approaching things, right? And by the way, I'm not a guy that has fucking amazing game, but I can talk to anybody. And I think all you need is just being having the confidence to talk to people. That for sure is gonna help out. So think about this. Whenever you talk to a girl that you potentially think you like or find attractive or whatever, I think you should go in making sure like they know that you're friend zoning them. Because that way you wouldn't they wouldn't feel like, oh, this guy's fucking trying to hit on me. But no, you gotta establish the fact that, hey, by the way, you're my homie because I'm making you feel like you're my homie. And whatever and that way also it also helps out too because the girls wouldn't feel like, ugh, this guy's such a fucking creep. So, boys, whenever you talk to a girl, make sure you go in friend zoning them, straight up friend zoning them. Although some might argue that that could backfire because the girls could possibly feel like, okay, well, if this guy doesn't like me, then I'll just move on to the next one, right? Sure, some might be able to, some might argue that, but think about it. Us guys, we're kind of stupid. We don't know when a girl likes us, or at least I don't. So either way, even if she did like you, she would have to tell you verbally, like, "Hey, I like you," for you to find out. So it's not like it's a fucking win-win for you. So all I'm saying is, friend zoning is the way to go, and it saves room from making mistakes or you assuming that she's into you, and it just saves you a whole lot of trouble from whatever could happen. So just do that, okay? We're running through topics like Usain Bolt, Fast and Usain Bolt, some might say, but if you guys have any topics that you'd like for me to discuss or anything like that, comment them down below. I'm thinking whether or not I should have a specific either email or something, but I don't want to like have to read things. I would rather have somebody here like say their question verbally, but I'll figure out how to do that. But yeah, I'd love to give advice on questions. I mean, it's gonna be shitty advice, but hey, sometimes shitty advice is better than no advice, right? Oh, okay. This thing my coworkers were talking about earlier in the week, how they said this specifically to each other. Oh, you know, a guy's a man if he can grill. And then my funny self, I was thinking like, well, a woman's a fucking woman when she can cook. So, but obviously that would have fucking made them like, oh, you're so sexist or whatever. But why can't they make that fucking comment? But I can't make the fucking kitchen comment, like, right? And yes, we can argue the girls had it or have it way tougher, but either all stupid comments are okay, or none of them are okay, right? Because at that point, it's just like, it's not, the double standard is like so fucked. Either equality or no equality. And I choose equality every fucking time. But and then I thought to myself, like, shit, I don't know how to grill. I mean, I think I do. Because how hard can it be to grill, right? Make some fucking steaks. I mean, just follow a fucking. If it doesn't take a scientist to make a good steak, right? So, I'm sorry. I have an audience member in my room, and so if you guys notice that my vibe is a little different, it's because it can be a little bit awkward when you're like speaking your fucking heart out, or and having an audience member in the background is just kind of like a little distracting. But hey, I'm getting used to it. Fuck it, whatever. But yeah, going back to the grilling thing, I yeah, I don't think I actually no, I don't think it should be that hard to grill. Like, just follow directions. How hard can it be, right? Just putting meat on fire and then knowing the certain temperatures. But beef is so easy because you can eat it like practically raw. Chicken's the one that I would like freak out a little bit because chicken's a little bit, yeah, you can like undercook chicken because you could get really, really fucking sick. And all obviously pork, but pork is like pork is mid. There's not really, besides pork chops and bacon. I mean, I don't really care for pork, or actually, no, pork belly's pretty good too. Okay, I would just stick to beef, like nice steaks. You can't fuck up steaks, and if you do, then I am so sorry for you. I guess by standards, you'll never be a man. Fuck you for saying that. I'm all getting worked up. I'm not actually worked up. Let's see. There was another thing that I wanted to touch on for you guys. Let's see. Da-da-da. Bum bum. Da-da-dun-dun. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Okay. What the fuck? I didn't like. Have you guys heard something? Maybe it was a demon that's in my room. Okay. I I wanted to kind of touch on a little story. So I I have my own business, right? Or at least I'm starting up my own business, or I did with my homies and then my brother as well, right? So they're actually tattoo artists, and they they have a place where they tattoo, and previously in the episodes I mentioned, like, I have an office, right? So that office is actually where they work out of. And initially we're trying to get a bigger place where we can have more people, so that place could kind of run itself, right? So that happened. We rented out a place, and it turned out that we weren't allowed to be there. And let me just kind of elaborate on the steps. When you're renting out any facility, any office, you either one have to go through like some type of broker, like a manager, like a property manager, or two, if they're the owners of the property themselves, then you can just go with them. And it's a lot easier to rent a place when you're getting it from the owner, because the owner, they don't have to listen to anybody. They make their own rules and whatever, right? Now when it comes to like a property manager, they have to kind of follow the owner's rules, and it's just a lot easier to deal with the owners, right? So I it was really difficult because this is my first time renting out a place by myself, and my credit score is not bad, but since I'm a new renter, I don't have any history of renting any place, right? So it's difficult for owners and property owners to trust me legally, even if I have the money. Like I can have like $1 million, but if my credit score or like my history of renting is not there, they're not gonna rent anything to me, right? So that this was just a little explanation for any of you that are not familiar with that. Okay. So now I ended up running into this place that they kind of gave me a shot. They said, okay, it was the owner, and she said, okay, yeah, we have a space available in November. You can come in whenever, look at it. So I said, sweet, let's set up an appointment where I can look at the place and we'll talk numbers, right? So I did this. She ended up not even asking me for like any records, anything like that. She just said, "We'll just run your credit and that's it, and then we'll give you a day when you can move in and we'll go from there." So the first red flag was last year in November. She told me the moving day was on the 8th of November, right? However, when the 8th of November came, there was nothing. I couldn't move in. She said the current tenants weren't leaving yet, so I had to wait. So she ended up pushing back to fucking December, which that was already a red flag, right? Now, when it came to the paperwork, she asked me what's the reason for the business, right? What business is it? So I told her it's a production company. We film things and we film tattoos and all that. That is kind of like the legal loophole on how you can have tattoos, because this was a private studio. This wasn't like a parlor where just every single day we have walk-ins, shit like that. It was not like that. It was strictly appointment based, and there was like a schedule, right? So that's what we agreed on. And for some reason in the paperwork, second red flag, she just put on the document strictly a podcast studio. And when I brought that to their attention, they said, "Oh no." I remember asking them, "So why is it does it say on the contract just podcast studio?" Because I told you we're a production company, and it's got to say production company, right? Or production, not fucking just podcast studio. Because podcast studio, when you see it on the lease, that just says like you can strictly only do podcasts. And their answer to me was, "Oh no, we're just doing that just because it's easier on the paperwork for us, and it's just easier." And I said, "Oh, okay. I mean, if there's no issue, then I'm okay with that, right? As long as you know that we are strictly a production company, so we can film a fucking commercial there that has nothing to do with a fucking podcast." And they said, "Oh no, yeah, 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 it's fine. It's just for us, for our records, whatever, right?" So I agreed, like a fucking idiot, but it's fine. I learned from my mistakes, whatever. Anyway, December comes in, we fucking transformed this place because it originally just looked like a boring ass office place, and we kind of just switched a lot of the flooring. We redid the whole floor. We took out the carpet and we put hardwood floor, and we made it look a lot appealing just from the flooring, right? And we were gonna paint it and all this. We brought in all our furniture. Like I bought a good amount of fucking equipment, like new couches, the fucking coffee table, new microphone gear, the whole shebang, right? I did everything. Paid for the labor, which was not fucking cheap. Anyway, I would say like 12 days in, she comes in and then she notices. I forgot exactly what it was, but there was okay. So one of our homies, we got a bed there for this fucking reason, because sometimes some of the people there that are gonna be working there, they don't live in the area, so for the purpose of this, we just had the bed just so they can crash or whatever, right? So we tried to explain that to her, to the fucking owner, and she immediately said she didn't want it. She didn't want that, and then she didn't like that the tattoo shit. She just didn't fuck with anything, and she was super fucking weird and anal. Like she would check the cameras, and if we like didn't leave the door closed or whatever, she'd like text me immediately. Which I get that. You know, the office was not in a good area, so that's completely understandable, right? But the fact that she was just very picky every single time, like every single day, I'd get a text getting like a complaint about something. And not only that, but it was such a fucking hassle to even get internet installed. Like I remember the internet people. I don't know if it was Spectrum or AT&T. We needed to get a specific connection from the maintenance room to get power into my room, and they said, "Oh, we want like a plan, like a specific work plan from the company to send to us so we can approve it." And I said, "What?" Like I get that, but it's literally just a fucking they all they were gonna do is just like run a cord or like some cable and then just get the power into my office unit. But they were making such a fucking big deal out of it. It was so annoying. Um, and then yeah, the last strike, she just one day she just told me like, yeah, I had to like leave because of the tattooing and all that bullshit. And I argued like, no, what do you mean? Like I've already put like money into this and you agreed. And then she kept saying like, oh, well, no, I agreed to a podcast studio. So they were fucking smart about that. Like they knew specifically on the fucking documents that that's what it was. But I mean, I got all my money back, but I didn't get the labor or the flooring, which I got really pissed off about. Um, but yeah, so for you people that are trying to build a business, just make sure you read the contract very thoroughly and make sure whenever you sign something, just make sure like I fucked up on this and I could have saved myself so much time and money if I just made it clear or like was more um if I was more stern on the document part of it because that's low-key what fucked me up. And to this day we don't even have an office studio anymore. I mean, I have my regular office, but like we don't have another office that we were supposed to. And it's really really complicated, especially right now in COVID time, because a lot of things are really cheap. So a lot of people are like kind of jumping on board. But yeah, so if you're starting a business, just make sure you kind of are very make sure you're very clear on your side of things because they kind of just sometimes like the business owners or like the property owners, they're kind of fucking idiots. Or at least the one that I came across, she was a fucking idiot and she was a fucking cunt. To this day, she has. I'm so glad I didn't follow through with this because I fucking would have gone crazy if I kept working with this bitch. And she was just so annoying to this day. I mean, I got my money back. Like technically I got my money back, but I still haven't gotten my check. I've mailed like the release forms and everything, and she supposedly hasn't gotten shit. And I don't know. Yeah. Like that's the one thing that really fucking pissed me off to this day. But yeah, I just wanted to yeah, give you guys that insight. Um let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Give me a sec. Damn, we're almost at an hour already. Shit. Let's see. Any updates on myself? I'm trying to think. So far I'm pretty good. Financially, let's see. What is the goal? Okay, let's close off with 2022 goals, right? I would say I would want to be this podcast. I would hopefully we have maybe some merch going on. Maybe the cult has grown a little more. I'm just putting out the energy out there. Um, I would say we're for sure gonna have an office. By the end of the year, like 1,000%. Travel a little more and just make sure my debt has gone down because I I got a lot of debt And let's touch up on that. Debt is not bad as long as you know you made an investment for yourself, right? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, debt is really bad," and it is bad. But it's not when it's you investing in yourself, right? So, for example, for the business, it's not like the debt was just to splurge because a lot of the shit I bought, I did return. So I'm gonna get my money back and I'm just gonna reinvest into something else. I'm not just gonna buy bullshit. And that's one of my problems that I have. I don't like to say no to people and I like to agree, which that's a fucking toxic trait for myself. I need to be stern on saying no and not please others. So, what is your what are your goals for this year? And I genuinely want to know because again, we're a cult. We're this cult. We're good with each other. It sounds fucking bad, but we're a good cult, okay? And if we were to go against the Manson family, that cult, we'd fucking beat that cult because they're bitches. Um, this sounds so bad. Just clip it. This guy's running a cult. Yeah, we are. So what? Technically, a church could be a cult, right? I mean, not technically, but in some way, right? Like, just groups of people could be cults, right? What is the definition of a cult? Let's see. Cult. All right. So by definition, a cult is a system of religious and devoting directed towards a particular figure or object. So I guess church and religion is a cult, huh? But obviously you don't use that word because it's like, right? I mean, I don't want anybody to worship me or anything like that, but I guess I would be more of a dictator, like kind of like Hitler, but nice. By the way, hashtag bring the Hitler back or the Hitler stash back. One day I made a TikTok with a Hitler mustache, and for some reason TikTok took it down. I mean, I was doing it for comedic purposes because I thought it looked funny as shit. But I guess you can't call it a Hitler stash. I mean, you can call it the Chaplin stash, but Chaplin stash doesn't sound that funny. The Hitler stash sounds way funnier. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy this episode. I know I did. And please subscribe, like, comment. Um, please let's grow this shit. This audience. I'm not gonna say shit. This isn't shit. This is a great cult. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, let's grow this. Let's see how where we're gonna be by 2023. Damn, that's crazy. 2023. It didn't feel like the year changed. Like I still feel the same, but I'm almost gonna be 20. Or I'm gonna be 25 this year. Fuck, I'm getting old. Hmm. Hopefully, I'm still healthy this year. But yeah, um, by the time actually no, so I'm gonna get my sleeve this month. It's already been booked. It's gonna be on the 22nd. I'll keep you guys updated with that. I'll show you obviously. I'll post pics right here as I talk about it, the experience. But yeah, again, I fuck with y'all. Y'all keeping me. Uh, yeah, I'm being very awkward just because I don't know if I'm buzzed or if I'm just not talking very well today. I'm not articulating my thoughts that properly, but I appreciate you guys. Till next time, bye.